Case number 1 of 2024. DBP KZN, inquest into the death of Chief Albert Lutuli.
Yes, Ms. Chen, good morning.
Good morning, my lady.
Yes.
Dr. Lutuli is still on the stand, my lady. If she can be reminded that she's still under oath.
Dr. Lutuli, Albertina, Nomatuli, Lutuli, you are still under your former oath.
Thank you, my lady.
Thank you.
Doctor, can we just go to page 4 of your statement? On the first paragraph, are you there on page 4?
Yes, I'm looking.
Are you there?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm there.
So on the first paragraph, the first line, you state that I read somewhere in the official report that my father's hearing had gone. Do you see that?
Well, no.
The first line of
Yes.
the first paragraph,
Yes,
you state that I read somewhere in the official report that my father's hearing had gone. Do you see that?
yes, I do.
Okay.
Uthi-ke udokotela uyabona laphana emgqeni wokuqala phezulu ekhasini lesine embikweni wakhe lapho kufundeka khona kanje ngafunda embikweni osemthethweni ukuthi-ke ubaba wengasezwa.
And yesterday you disputed that your father had a hearing problem, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Uyavuma-ke udokotela ukuthi izolo uyiphikisile le nkulumo ethi ubaba wakhe wayemuntu owayenenkinga yokuzwa.
Do you recall which official report was it that said your father was hard of hearing, or that his hearing had gone? Do you recall which official report was this?
I don't.
Kuyabuzwa kudokotela ukuthi ngabe usakhumbula yini ukuthi imuphi lo mbiko wadalula ukuthi ubaba wakhe waye umuntu owayengasezwa na uthi cha akasakhumbula ukuthi imuphi lo mbiko wawuveza le nkulumo.
So I take it that even though you don't recall the official report, but you read it somewhere that somebody or somewhere it was saying that your father's hearing had gone, and you dispute that.
Yes, I dispute that. Yeah.
Kuthiwa ke kudokotela noma ungasakhumbuli ke ukuthi umbiko owuqhamuka kuphi lo kepha kukhona lapho wafunda khona wena ukuthi kubhalwe ukuthi ubaba wayemuntu wayengasezwa kahle kepha wena uyaphikisa lokho uyaphendula ufakazi ukuthi ngiyakuphikisa lokho.
Yeah.
Let us go to page 6 of your statement. 6. At paragraph 11. Okay. If you go about 5 sentences from the bottom of from the top of paragraph 11, 5 sentences down, the sentence starts with, I asked Tulani because. Do you see that sentence? About 5 sentences down.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I asked, yes.
The sentence that starts with, I asked Tulani because he was a lawyer by profession and myself as a doctor.
Uthi-ke udokotela yabo uyawubona lo musho umshushi sakhuluma ngawo lo ufundeka ngalolu hlobo uthi-ke ngabe sengicela uthulane ngoba weyummeli nami ngingudokotela.
The remainder
Yes.
of yes. Sorry.
Yes.
So in the remainder of that paragraph, you go on to describe what victims of train accidents normally look like as a professional legal practitioner. What you would normally observe. Am I correct?
Yes, you are correct.
kuthiwa ke ubhalisile la mangabe eqhubeka nombiko wakhe ukuthi ke yena njenganomuntu owenza umsebenzi wezomthetho ubhalisile ukuthi legal practitioner.
Did I say legal practitioner?
Yes,
Oh
that's
my
right.
goodness, I'm sorry. Medical practitioner.
Thank you.
I apologize.
Thank you. Kuthiwa ke uqhubekile udokotela wasezobhalisa wabhala la embikweni wakhe ukuthi ke yena emkhakheni akuwona njengomuntu osengosini yezokwelapha ubhalile la embikweni wakhe ukuthi ke uyaye afike abantu abasuke bezisulu zokulimala engozini yesitimela uyaye afike athole umuntu ekwesiphi simo.
And you state that such persons would have serious injuries.
Yes, I do.
Ushilo ke la embikweni ukuthi ke umuntu onjalo usuke enokulimala okubi uyavuma udokotela uthi yebo kunjalo.
And in preceding paragraphs, you stated that you never went to the hospital to see your father on the day of the incident, 21 July 1967. You didn't go to the hospital. Am I correct?
Kiyabuzwa kudokotela ukuthi ke uyasho yini la embikweni yakhe ukuthi yena akazange aye laphana esibhedlela ukuyobona ubaba wakhe.
Is that correct?
I think I recall going.
On 21 July, you
Yes,
recall
on
going to
21.
the hospital?
That's right.
Okay.
Uthi ke uyaphendula udokotela uthi ke uyazikhumbula eya laphana esibhedlela ngalolu suku la umhla ka 21 July 1967.
Did you see your father's body at the hospital on that day?
Yeah, when we arrived, I was with Tulani. Yeah, when we arrived, my two younger brothers were there, and were, told by them that he can still talk. Not talk, but he was hearing or lip what, but he was responding, but the voice couldn't come out.
Uthi ke udokotela masiya laphana saya ngahamba noThulani abafowethu ke laba abancane babeke sebebika ukuthi umuntu yena osezwa eindlebeni futhi nalaphana eindebeni kepha iphimbo qhalo na aliphumi.
Okay. So my understanding is that Tulani, that's from yesterday's evidence, you went with Tulani to the scene, to the alleged train accident scene. That's where you went with him.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Kepha ngokuqonda kwami ubuchaze izolo bufakazini bakho ukuthi wena mawuhamba noThulani ninoThulani naye lapha la isigameko sasenzeke khona uthi udokotela yebo.
From there, you then went home, and that's when you got the report from your brothers about what had happened at the hospital. Am I correct?
Yes.
Mangabe senisuka ke endaweni yesigameko nabe seniya ekhaya nokuyilapho nabe senifika nibikelwa khona abafo ngaba nibikelwa ngabafo wenu ngokuthi ke bafice bathola babona isimo sinjani lapha esibhedlela uthi dokotela yebo.
And at the funeral of your father, we were told that it happened on the 30th of July 1967. Did you get a chance to see the condition of your father's body at the funeral?
Yes. He lay in the church overnight for visitors before being buried.
Ufuna ke ukuthola umshushisi ukuthi ke njengoba kuvele ukuthi umfihlo kaBaba wakho uDokotela wobanjwe ngomhla ka 30 July ngonyaka 1967 ngabe ke uDokotela wakho wambona yini ubabu wakhe ngalosuku lomfihlo. Siyaphendula ke uDokotela uthi yebo uthi umzimba walaliswa lapha yana esontweni ubusuku lobo khona esontweni ukwenzela ukuthi abantu bakhona ukumbona.
From your observations, did it look like your father sustained serious injuries as we had described earlier as per victims of train accidents?
He was, only the face was showing. Yeah, and he looked clean, and there was nothing that I could say, well, there is the injury or anything like that. Yeah. It was covered wholly, except just the face, yeah, which was no injury there. Yes.
Ufuna ukuthola ke umshushisi ukuthi ke nangabe ke udokotela embona ubaba lapha nangabe angasho ukuthi wayelimele kakhulu yini ubaba njengoba echazile phela udokotela wathi kuyaye kulindeleke ukulimala okubucayi kumbe okube emntwini osuke ebeyisisulu sokuba sengozini yesitimela uthi udokotela wayekade emboziwe okwakade kuvele emzimbeni wakhe okade kubuso obabukade bona buvele futhi ke akukho engakubona ebusweni okwakade kukulimala.
And the rest of his body, did it look like he had any missing limbs?
He was full in the coffin. It was full. Yes.
Ufuna ukuthola ke umshushisi ukuthi ngabe emilenzeni kumbe engalweni kukhona yena okwakade kungekho kulezo ingxenye zomzimba uthi yaphendula udokotela uthi wephelele njoba eseboxini nje weyomuntu wephelele esiqwini.
Am I understanding you to say that his body was intact, no missing limbs? As far as you could observe, his body was intact.
Yes, ma'am.
Usethi ke umshushisi ngabe ke ngibeka ngakhona nangabe ngithi umzimba wakhe wokade uhlangene uphelele ngamanye amazwi akho ngale kade ingekho akho mlenze okade ungekho uyaphendula ufakazi uthi yebo.
You have explained what you've seen on the face. I would presume that would be the front part of his body. Did you observe any injuries at the back part of his body? If you can recall.
Ufuna ukuthola kumshushisi ukuthi njoba ethe udokotela mangabe phendula wakhuluma ngobuso ngalowo ndlela kushuthi ke ukhuluma ngale ngxenye engaphambili yomzimba wakhe kamufi inkosi ngabe ke kuyingemuva lomzimba wakhe ngabe kukhona ukulimala ngabe ingemuva lomzimba walibona na uyaphendula udokotela uthi cha.
Just an indulgence, my lady. We just want to put up a picture for comment by the witness. So, doctor, the picture that's on the screen there in front of you, do you recognize that picture?
Yes, I do.
Uthi ke udokotela nangabe esibuka lesi sithombe ukubonakala la kusona uthi ke uyakukhumbula uyakwazi.
I'm going to ask Mr. Tusi to help us so that you don't come out of the stand. The individuals that are seated there, if you could explain to us who are those people there. Mr. Tusi, maybe if you can start at the far right so that the doctor can explain to us the individuals that are in that picture. You can point to the first individual. Who is that one?
That one.
Do you see her?
Yes. It's,
Dr. Lutuli,
I think that is.
you can look at the smaller screen that Mr. Ngobo has in front of you.
Yes. Yeah.
Are you able to see the picture clearly?
Pardon?
I think she must move the water bottle.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Thanks.
I didn't hear. Thank you.
Is that better now?
That looks like Smangel.
Mange.
Yeah, that is my younger sister.
Uyaphendula ke udokotela.
This side.
Yes.
ukuthi ke lo ongakwe sokudla uyakhomba ngesandla uthi kubukeka kudadewabo lo uSimangele.
And the one sitting next to Smangele,
We called him Boy.
you called him
That
boy.
name, yes. That was my brother.
Sasimbiza ngoboy isidlaliso sakhe umfowethu
Madunjin is the formal
Madunjin.
name, yes.
Okay.
Madunji.
And sitting next to him,
That was my mother.
that's your
Ohleli
mother.
duze kwakhe
Yes.
Umama.
Nebukhaya.
umama wami
Sitting next to your mother,
That's myself.
bese kuzothi lo ohleli duze kwamama kube yimi.
okay? Sitting next to you,
Is Tandeka,
Lo
my sister,
lo ohlezi eduzane
who's
kwami
active and still alive.
udadewethu uthandeka usaphila yena.
and sitting next to Tandega,
And that is the younger sister, Tembisile.
Ohlezi eduzane nothandeka udade omncane
okay? Not sure if you're able to recognize the one sitting next to Tembisile with the glasses. Are you able to recognize that person? No,
Maybe it's
it's too far.
too far.
That's okay.
thike lo ohlezi eduzane nodade uThembisile yena uqhelile ngokwesithombe.
Oh, I think that is an old lady in the family, ukhuluma mchunu.
Thike ngicabanga ukuthi lo umuntu owumama wasemndenini omdala owukhulu umamchunu.
And all of your siblings seated there, were they all married, including yourself?
Except Ufana. Let me just look. Yes. Yes,
All of them.
yes.
Ufuna ukuthola ke umshushisi ukuthi njengoba bebonakala la esithombeni bezizelamane njengabe babeshadile na uthi uyababala weshadile uthi yebo.
And it was established yesterday that you were married to Dr. Ngakane. Am I correct?
Yes, yeah.
Uyavuma ke udokotela ukuthi kuvelile izolo ukuthi weshade no Dr. Ngakane.
You also mentioned yesterday that both you and your husband were qualified medical practitioners in 1967 when your father passed on.
Yes.
Uyavuma ke udokotela ukuthi ubalulile izolo nangabe echaza ukuthi iyena nomkhonyana wakhe bagogodela emkhakheni ukuba ngodokotela ngonyaka ka1967 okuwo unyaka wokudlula emhlabeni kababa wakhe udokotela.
And you also mentioned that Dr. Ngakane was under banning orders as well.
Yes, he was.
Uyavuma futhi ukuthi udokotela ukuthi ke udokotela ungakane lo umuntu owayekade enemthetho ayishayelwe emisile.
Are you able to share with this court why it is that Dr. Ngakane was banned?
He was banned because he was, an activist in the African National Congress matters. Yeah, he was an activist, and for that, in fact, he had paid the crime of being in that situation. And he was just come back from Robben Island for an act that he had performed for somebody he met driving who was going to the gate to go to Lesotho. So he had, he had the banning orders, and they led up to the point where he had to go to Robben Island.
Kuthiwa ke ufaka udokotela akake achaze ngesimo lesi esiphathelele ngobesihlomela nokuthi kumiswe imithetho emisayo udokotela ungakani uyachaza ukuthi isizathu ngenxa ukuthi ke umuntu udokotela ungakani wayekade eyisishoshovu embuthweni ka-ANC ngalowo ndlela wayekade ke ehlawuliselwa wona lawo macala okusempeleni wayeumuntu osebuya nase Robben Island ngenxa ukuthi kunomuntu thizena ekade edibane naye laphayana kwindawo eholela elisuthu uyachaza udokotela ukuthi ke ukumiswa kwakhe kwazi kwaholela ekuthini aze abe umuntu othunyelwa khona laphana eRobben Island.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, Doctor, you're saying that Dr. Ngakane was an activist in the ANC to such an extent that he would also be involved in the transportation of people from South Africa to Lesotho.
The particular day, the particular event regarding that was that he picked up somebody to the gate who was coming from the mines and could hardly walk, and he took him to the gate, and on the way back he was then arrested, happened to be arrested. So now when he comes out of the Robben Island, he was given the ban, which made him practice only around himself at Claremont.
Ufuna ke ukuthola umshushisi ukuthi ke mangabe ngizwa kahle ukumiswa kwakhe udokotela ungakane lokungenxa ukuthi wayekade isishoshovu sombitho kakhongolose nanokuthi ke wayebandakanyeka ekuhambiseni abantu ebasusa khona la kwelengabade ebawelisela ngale elisuthu. Uyachaza ke udokotela ukuthi ke inkinga azithola ebhekene naye ngenxa ukuthi wasuke wabanjwa elekelela umuntu laphana esangweni lo muntu wayekade esuka laphana ezimayine engakhona nanokuzihambela lwamuntu elibangise elisuthu. Uyaqhubeka udokotela uthi ke mangabe esebuyile laphana eRobben Island udokotela ungakane kwabe ke sekumiswa yona lemithetho eyayikade ithi ke angasaqhubeka nomsebenzi womkhakha wakhe wobudokotela kuzwelonke kepha ke abe umuntu osebenzela laphana emkhakheni wakhe kwindawo yaseGlenwood.
Were the activities of Dr. Ngakane within the ANC in any way influenced by Chief Albert Luthuli as his father-in-law? Would you like me to repeat my question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
So your father-in-law, your father, Chief Albert Luthuli, was the President General of the ANC. So what I'd like to know is the activities of your husband, Dr. Ngakane. Were they in any way influenced by your father, Chief Albert Luthuli?
Well, I would think that yes. Here and there, yes.
Ufuna ukuthola ke umshushisi ukuthi ke njengoba udokotela lo sebhoxini na wayekade uyise kuyisishoshovu se-ANC ingabe yena ke udokotela ungakane yena ekutheni ke naye azithole eyingxenye yomzabalazo ngabe kwakade kudalwa ilomthelelo ukuthi umkhwe wakhe inkosi uLutuli umuntu wayekade esishoshovu kwinhlangano ka-ANC na uyaphendula kudokotela osebhoxini uthi ngicabanga ukuthi yebo ilokho okwakudala ukuthi kube nomthelelo ekutheni naye abe sishoshovu kukhongolose.
And your brothers-in-law, the ones who were married to your sisters, were any of them activists within the ANC?
It's difficult for me to talk to that.
Or is it difficult to talk to that?
Yes.
Ufuna ukuthola ke umshushisi ukuthi ke ngabe ke osibali bakhe udokotela laba ababekade beshadile odadewabo bakhe udokotela lo Sephoxini angasho na udokotela ukuthi nabo babekade bezishoshovu zawo umzabalazo nawo uyaphendula udokotela oSephoxini ucha akulula ukuthi angakwazi ukuthi aphefumule kulelo phunzo.
Yes, ma'am.
Please, engikwaziyo ukuthi they were activists in the organization, the African National Congress. Yeah.
Are you talking about your brothers-in-law, the ones who were married to your sisters? As far as you know, they were activists.
That's right.
Uyengeza ke udokotela uthi kepha engikwaziyo yikho ukuthi bona osibali bami laba ababeshadelwe ngodade wethu babekade bezishoshovu.
Yesterday, just before we adjourned for the day, you were explaining why it is that your father was regarded as a terrorist. And then you also made mention of the security branch. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Uyakhumbula uthi udokotela yabo ngiyakhumbula ukuthi ke ngingathinta kwindaba ukuthi ke ngikhulume ngendaba yalabo abakade bekuphiko lakwasidlodlo ngalesa sikhathi nanendaba yokuthi ubaba wayebukwa njenganomuntu oyivukela mbuzo.
What was the role of the security branch in your father's life? Why did you mention the security branch yesterday?
They were keeping an eye on my father all the time, really. Yeah, they would come and and knock at the door at night when we're sitting having supper. That stands very clear to us as children. That they mostly they came in the evening when they knew that they'd already known that we eat supper together, the whole family, you see, and just knock at the door in front, and then we know. And they kick the door. If you don't open it quickly, they kick the door, they go around the house and go back, and all that. And eventually we will stand up and, and let them in. Yeah. But we responded with children, by not going to open the door immediately, you see. And it gave time also, for my father to do what he needed to do, perhaps like taking his papers, writings, and putting them away. But they were there, almost nightly, almost. And it was terrible. It was really terrible.
Ufuna ukuthola ke umshushisi ukuthi ke ukuthi ufakazi mangabe ephendula izolo ube esefaka empendulweni yakhe indaba yalo uhlaka lolo lwabakasidlodlo lalikade lusebenza ngalesa sikhathi uyachaza ke ufakazi ukuthi indima ababeyidlala laba ababe uphiko lakasidlodlo ngaleya nkathi lalikade eliyini uyanabo ufakazi ukuthi ke ababakade bekwenza babehlezi belusa ubaba ngamanye amazwi babeloku bebeke iso kubaba enkathi zonke ukuthi ke babe betheleke nangeinkathi zasebusuku laba kahle khona ukuthi ke sesihlele somndeni sihlalele isidlo sakusihlo uthi-ke udokotela lokhu ke kuzikile emqondweni ukwazi kanje emqondweni wethu thina singabantwana indlela ababenze ngaba bethi mangabe sebethelekile ke ngalezo inkathi ezesuku mangabe kucaca ukuthi isicapha sivulwa masisha babe basikhahlele isicapha uthi-ke singabantwana sasiyaye sihobe singayi ukuyovula esicapheni masisha lokho kwakuye kunuke ubaba ithutshana lokuthi-ke ukuse afihle izinto zakhe ezifana nencwadi amaphepha thizeni la esuke ekade ebhale khona abese ayakubeka lokho izinto asuke ezibhalile abese ayazithukusa azibeke ubaba uyachaza udokotela ucha kwakuyisimo esinyandisa ngalona hlobo kwakuyisimo esingesihle neze uthi ngesizikile emqondweni lezo zenzo.
When they came to the house at night, did they ever explain why they were there or what they were looking for?
No, they would just come and, start at his desk, which was near the door, and just open newspaper, anything that they find, and the books and all that, and then just walk. Just walk, was sitting, just walk and take over the house. Yeah, just walk. And we are, we sort of, certainly my parents would sort of be sitting down, continuing to sit at table. But we would try to, to show them our resentment by, following them and all that. But as they were, I think, I'll repeat, I think I still say to you, the other idea was that we have to collect the papers, his writings, and everything that we know is on the desk or in the bedroom or everywhere, to take them so that they go with nothing in their hands. To take them and put them under our house, I think you've seen, has a hole. Yeah, it has a hole, so they would go there and and put them there, right at the end. And it was then that we then feel that the door can be opened.
Ufuna ke umshushisi ukuthi ke udokotela akachazele lesi sicawu ukuthi ke mangabe sebefikile laba abophiko lokwasidlodlo bangaleya nkathi babefike bachaze kona isizathu nembangela yokugasela kwabo lapha ekhaya lakhe udokotela uyachaza udokotela uthi cha babengachaze nanokuchaza ukuthi bayizengane izizathu zokutheleka kwabo ngaleza inkathi zini uthi ke baye betheleke nje ababesuke beyogxila kona izinto ezifana nezincwadi nemibhalo thizeni yakhe ubaba babesebecala nje laphana khona endlini ngaleso sikhathi abazali bethu babesuke beyihlalele nje laphana eduzane netafula thina ke njengabantwana sasiya sibe nako lokho kutshengisa ukuthi ke asenelisekile ngalesenzo sabo sokugasela kwabo benze ngalolu hlobo uthi ke udokotela kufanele ukuthi ubeke ukuveza lokhu ukuchaza isimo somuzwa wekhaya labo ukuthi kunembotshana kumbe kunembotshana eyikade ikhona lapho uthi ke yilapho babe bethukuse khona befihle izinto ezifana namabhuku amaphepha nemibhalo yakhe ubaba lapho kulonda uthi kepha babesuke bengachaza nokuchaza uthi kepha bona babebonisa ukuthi neze abeneme ngalesi senzo saloluphiko.
They would even go to the bedroom and take the mattresses, look at the mattresses upside down and all that. I just like to talk to this, putting them through. The house has a foundation, or home has a foundation. It stands up, and there is space underneath, and the holes there are open. So we used to go there, for instance, even to collect eggs. they would go and cancel there, eggs and so on and so forth. So it did have the entrance to the top, yeah, and then we go right to the end, so that it's dark, and even if they never really were able to see them.
Uyaqhubeka ke uyachaza udokotela ngaso lesi simo ukuthi ke babeze bekhulu ukudele bengene ngisho egumbini lokulala bafike bequlule laphana kumatrasi babashonise phezulu omatrasi. Uyayichaza ke udokotela le ndaba yengxenye eyisikhala le athi imibhalo beyifihle beyithukuse khona uthi kuyindawo eyifoundation inalezi ikhala uthi ke kubheke phezulu lesi sikhala akhuluma ngaso udokotela uthi silapho ke laphana ngaphansi uthi ilaba bethukusa khona imibhalo kuleyo ngxenye akhuluma ngayo udokotela uyana ukuthi ila wawuyithola ukuthi izinkukhu zizalela khona nanamaqanda uthi ke baye bengafinyeleli ke kuleyo ngxenye akhuluma ngayo udokotela uthi kumnyama lapho kule ngxenye yomuzi ayichazayo udokotela.
Okay, so doctor, if I'm hearing what you're saying, these security branch members would come into the house, ransack the house while searching for something that you were not aware of. But what you as children would do is you would take all the writings and speeches of your father, you would take them and you would hide them in a secret hole just underneath the house that nobody knew of.
Yes.
Except for the family members, of course.
Yes.
Uthi ke umshushisi mangabe ngikuzwa kahle dokotela uthi ke mangabe sebethelekile labo abophiko lokubaka sidlodla baye befike bebequlule lapha yana endlini ngaphakathi uthi ke nina njengabantwana kukhona la niphuthume niyothukusa khona izinto ezifana nezinkulumo izibhishi belo nemibhalo yakhe inkosi nokuyilapho ke babe bengafinyeleli ekuthini bazithole lezo zinto mangabe senizithukusile ngenxa ukuthi ababekade besuke bazi ngalolo khosombo kokusuke kuyinina njengabantwana kanjalo nabomndeni. Uyavuma udokotela uthi yebo.
So after the search, they wouldn't find anything, the SPs, the security branch members, of significance.
Yeah, almost. They'll just pick maybe a newspaper, some take a book from the shelf which we hadn't taken. They would just satisfy themselves that way, but they would take whatever they felt was left behind, in them. But it would be books from the bookshelf or a newspaper, perhaps, that we haven't picked up. They would take it, you see. But really, there's very little that they would usually go with, because we're taking it away.
Mangabe ngikuzwa kahle ke dokotela mangabe befikile laba abophiko lolo bakasidlolo baye bebuye nembande yesikhova mangabe kukhona bakuthunguthayo uyaphendula udokotela uthi cishe kanjalo uthi babe bathole nje lawo maninjana nje into ezifana mhlambe nokuthi bayithathele izincwadi ezisuke zilapha neshelofile lezincwadi hleze bathatha into efana nephephandaba amaphephandaba into kanjalo uthi kepha nje babesibona bewumndeni odokotela babesuke sebekuthukusile ngalondlela bathole nje lawo maninjana udokotela akhuluma ngawo.
Evidence was led by witnesses in this court who testified that often Chief Lutuli would hold secret meetings, predominantly at night. Just want to find out from you whether you know about secret meetings that would take place between Chief Albert Luthuli and other members of the ANC.
Yes, they continue to hold their meetings. They call them, sort of subterranean. But they did hold meetings. They were prepared by mainly in his area. There is a town, KwaZulu-Natal. There's now the KwaZulu-Natal had people, Indians mainly, who were very close to, who were in the part of who were members of the Indian Congress. You know, we're in alliance, and they were the ones who assisted during the times when Ubaba was banned.
So, if I, oh, sorry.
Thank you. Ufuna ukuthola ke umshushisi ukuthi ke ufuna ukuthola umshushisi ukuthi ufuna ukuthola umshushisi ukuphawula kwakhe udokotela ngalokho okudalule ngabanye ofakazi asebengenile bathula ubufakazi kulesi sicawu bathe labo ofakazi inkosi uLuthuli ke iyayinakho ukuthi ke ibambe imihlangano ngasese kumbe imihlangano eyimfihlo ebusuku namanye amalunga enhlangano ka-ANC uyavuma udokotela ukuthi yebo kunjalo ukuthi ke baqhubeka beyibamba besingatha eyona imihlangano kepha ngasese lapha ikakhulukazi lapha edolobheni kuthiwa kwaDukuza kulela dolobha ikakhulukazi umphakathi owalabo abangobokdabu abangumdabu waseNdiya kunomphelo ndawonye lapha ubizwa ngokuthi Indian Congress uyachaza kudokotela ukuthi ke eyibona ababenokumlekelela ubaba emva kokuthi kugunyazwe lemthetho le eyayikade emvimbele kwenzeni eminye imisebenzi.
So members of the Indian Congress were instrumental in assisting or ensuring that these secret meetings are held between the politicians.
Yes.
Ngaleyo ndlela umfela ndawonye lo obizwa ngeIndian Congress iwona owawulekelele eqinisekiseni ukuthi kuyaqhutshekwa ukuthi kubanjwe imihlangano uyavuma udokotela uthi yebo kunjalo.
Let's go to your statement, page 8, paragraph 4, where you talk about Senator Kennedy from the United States. Page 8, paragraph 4.
Sorry, paragraph
4.
4, thank you.
Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. You state here that Senator Kennedy organized or made his own arrangements to get to Groutville. You see that?
Yes.
Uthi ke udokotela uyayibona lengxenye umshushisa khuluma ngayo liyefundeka ngokuthi ke lo owayesokwesishamthetho uKennedy wayenza imizamo yokuthi afinyelele lapha eGroutville.
Do you know how he arrived at Groutville in
How he
1966?
arrived?
How did he arrive?
Ufuna ukuthola umshushisi.
Yeah, yes, he arrived in what? Look. Helicopter.
Helicopter.
Yes, he arrived in a helicopter. Yeah.
Bese acabanga ukuthi kambe ikona kuphi udokotela lokho awukwasenyiswa isithuthe esasentshenziswa uKennedy nangabeze eGroutville libese uwasebenzisa indiza leno phephela emhlanje.
And you were there on that day?
Miss Chweni, not that I have evidence. I just saw the witness saying he arrived with this thing that does this.
Oh.
That can only be a helicopter.
As it pleases the court, my lady. Thank you for that. And you were there when Senator Kennedy arrived in Groutville in June of 1966?
Yes.
Kuthiwa ke udokotela ngabe wekhona yini ngawuJune ka1966 ngesikhathi ethi cha baba uKennedy uyavuma udokotela uthi wekhona nangabe fika uKennedy Groutville.
Do you perhaps recall what was happening on that day in Groutville when Senator Kennedy arrived? The mood, the atmosphere in the community. Do you recall what was happening, if possible?
Yes. Now,
I see you pointing
our
at the
house,
screen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Our house is close to the main road to Stanger. Yeah. And then there's called 102. And then there's a long road which goes straight to the gate, the front gate of the house. And it's some distance, maybe longer than that to there, you see, from the gate to the house. And then on the side, there was an empty space. Let me put it that way. An empty space, a huge itafa. You see, Zulu.
And in English, what is itaf?
It's a plane.
Where cattle in the afternoon when they come from wherever they were, now they're coming back now to just be around and then get into the kraal. Yeah. Now that was a huge space. Now of course it's their homes now. They're building. There was a huge space there, so that when cattle come from doing their farming work and all that kind of thing, they would finish the day in that spot which I've just described, which was big. Yeah. Now, of course, it's, as I say, loaded with homes. Yeah. So the airplane, that is where it landed. It's in front of there's a row there of other homes, with my home. So it's landed on that, and people saw this they came out of their houses excited, and everybody was really terrible, just very excited. There's a helicopter there, it landed there. And so wet spread very, very quickly. Now, I was called, you see, by my mother to come and help with the arrival of the person, you see. And the people were full already, and they were filling the house whilst Ubaba went to meet Ulonu Kennedy. Yeah, bahamba ke naye ke bangena endlini, and they greeted everybody. It was, it was really something bigger than had ever happened to Groutville before. Yeah. And then they came to the house working together.
Uyachaza ke udokotela ufuna ukuthola umshushisi ukuthi ke isimo sasinjani umuzwa ebantwini wawunjani ngalesi sikhathi kumbe ngalolu suku okwathi caba bangalo owayesuka le kwishamthetho sasemelika okuKennedy. Uyachaza udokotela oseboxini uchaza uqala ngokunikeza lenkonto lisithombe emqondo sokuthi ke yini eyakhele umuzi olikhaya labo. Uthi umuzi olikhaya labo udokotela uthi useduzane nomgwaqo lo omkhulu khona lapha endaweni yaseSidenga. Lo mgwaqo ubizwa ngo-R102. Uthi ke ukusukela lapha emagcekeni asekhaya kunomgwaqo omude lo mgwaqo uya lapha esangweni. Uthi ke ngase ehlangothini kumbe eceleni kwalapho kunendawo uyayichaza uthi ivulekile inkulu lendawo uthi ilitha. Futhi ke le ndawo iyona ndawo inkomo ezazithi mangabe sezibuya lapha emadlelweni bese ziyothi sabalala khona. Uthi ke phamanye sekugcwele imizi kuleli thafa lelakhuluma ngalo udokotela sekwakhiwa kuleyo ngxenye elithafa ayichazayo. Uthi ke indiza le iyabe seyithi cababa kule ndawo elithafu udokotela ayichaza ukuthi ke indaba zokuthi ke sekukhona indiza eseyithe cababa lapha kulela thafa zasheshe zafika endlebeni zabantu. Uthi ke abantu baphuma emizini yabo begcwele injabulo beneme kakhulu abantu bebabaza isimanga sokuthi hawu sekuthe cababa indize nophephele emhlane lapha kulela thafa. Uthi ke umama wami ke wabe ke esengibiza ukuthi ke mangilekelele nje waphela kwakade kunomuntu owayekade efikile lapha ekhaya. Uthi ke kwabe sekuthi shaye abantu begcwele lapha ekhaya ngesikhathi ubaba eyakhona lapha ethafeni eyomhlangabezo ubeke eseza naye lo uKennedy wayekade esuka kwisishambiso besuka la indiza yayithe cababa khona beza ekhaya. Uthi ke injabulo eyegcwele ebantwini yayikade ichichima kwakuqabuke kwangokuqala ukuthi kube khona isimo esifuzile siyana endaweni yase-Crowdville abantu babejabule kakhulu.
Thank you. My lady, at this point, may we take a break? I think the witness has said quite a mouthful in this 1 hour.
Yes, we resume at
Perhaps-
2:15.
Yeah, after lunch, just so that she can be able to take a leg stretch, eat
Okay.
her lunch, and then
Thank you. Dr. Lutuli will take a rather longer adjournment than usual to give you a chance to stretch your legs, rest, and have something to eat or something to drink. We'll come back at 2:15.
So kubeka ngo-2:15 naludaba inkantolo izothatha ikhefu elide ukwenzela ukuthi udokotela abe nethuba lokuthi azilule athole nokuya ngasethunjini athi ukulula amathambo njalo.
Let's adjourn. Thank you.
on resumption.
Dr. Lutuli, you are still under your former oath. Yes, Ms. Trina.
Thank you, my lady. Thank you, Doctor. Before the lunch adjournment, we had spoken about paragraph 4 on page 8. Now, if we just go to paragraph 5 on page 8. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yes. The second sentence reads as follows. Obviously, there was great anger and frustration in Pretoria against Lutuli. I think you were talking about, you were relating this to the visit by Senator Kennedy. Am I correct?
I was checking what had been happening all along his journey.
Oh, his entire journey.
That's right.
Okay.
His entire journey. But one would think that, of course, because of this, who he was, this one, Kennedy, it would mean Uti now really he is look, he has met somebody who's international, you know, and more than just generally the people around. Yeah. This one was such that it was from somebody of great stature, if I can put it that way. Yeah. Even the whole idea of just in a moment, the yard, a car, was full of people, you see, and yet there was one person coming. So his stature.
His stature.
Yes.
ufisa ukuthola ke umshushisi kuye udokotela ukuthi ke uma ngabe ke ephawule embikweni wakhe udokotela ngalendlela lapha esigabeni esesihlanu ukuthi ke ngokusobala kwakade kunentukuthelo enkulu nokungeneliseki laphana ePitoli okade kubhekiswe kuLuthuli ungabe udokotela lama ngabe esebenzisa lamazwe ubhekise kuloku kufika kuka Kennedy na usethi udokotela la wayekade ebhekise nje kuhambo lakhe lonkana uthi kepha ke vele ngokwezinga akulona yena lo Kennedy lo owayekade efikile wayekade phela esezingene lomhlaba wonke jikelele kanjalo nanesisindo anaso na indlela abukwa ngayo njenganomuntu phela oqavile umbe omkhulu uKennedy lo.
And I understand that even that visit by Senator Kennedy drew a lot of international attention and media onto Groutville. Am I correct?
Yes. Can I just add up here, please? That
Yes.
the coming to Groutville had been denied openly by the government.
Yes.
Yeah. And they said he should not put his foot there.
uthi ke udokotela ufisa ukwengeza kuleli phuzo leli asuka kulona ukuthi ke kwaukuza kwakhe uKennedy laphana eGroutville isenzo leso sasivele sinqatshiwe ukuthi sifezeke uhulumeni wayenqabela ukuthi uKennedy Albert laphana eGroutville namaphethelo.
Thank you.
Chief.
To come and see the chief, the doctor adds.
So just going back to the issue of the security branch, you had informed or you had stated that they would often come at night and disturb the dinner or disturb the family while it was having dinner.
Yes.
You also mentioned that he was being watched. Do you believe that he was being constantly watched by the security branch?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Ufuna ukuthola ke umshushisi ukuthi ke njengoba ebephawulile udokotela ukuthi ke lolu phiko labakasidlohlo lobandlululo lalikade linokutheleka laphana ebusuku lifike liphazamise isikhathi somndeni ngesikhathi umndeni uhlale lisidlo sakusihlwa ungezile udokotela nokuthi ke wayekade bebeke iso kuyena ufuna ukuthola ke udokotela ukuthi ngabe ncaso ufisa ukuthola umshushisi kudokotela ukuthi ngabe unenkolelo yokuthi wayeumuntu owayehlezi eloswe ngeso na inkosi uLuthuli udokotela uyavuma ukuthi yebo kunjalo.
Do you know or do you have an idea where they would be located, these members of the security branch, in their constant surveillance of the chief?
What I do know is when they actually came to the house, which I've talked to already, yes, because we had direct interaction with them. But also, we knew the stories of how they were known even to the community in Crowdfield. There's a special branch which is doing this kind of thing. And also, the people, particularly in Stanger, who were sort of protecting Baba Nakoro, they were, the Indian community there were people who were actually knowing and talking about the fact that the special branch is doing what it was doing.
Ufuna ukuthola umshushisi kudokotela ukuthi kabe unalo yini ulwazi lokuthi ke bona laba abaloluphiko lakwasidlodlo lwangaliya ngathi yobandlululo lalisuke lisuka kuphi nendawo lalikade lizenze kuphi na uyaphendula ke udokotela uthi esasikade esasikwazi ukufika kwabo lapha ekhaya nabaye befike bekwenze lapha ekhaya nanokuthi ke indaba eyayikade iqoqo vele le iyokwenza kwabo nabantu laphana emphakathini waseGroundville babekade benalo ulwazi ngalo loluphiko nanezinto zazikade zenziwa yilolu luphiko kanjalo nomphakathi wabomdabu basendiya laphana eStenga namaphethelo babenalo ulwazi ngezenzo nokuziphatha kwabo labo baloluphiko lobandlululo lwakasidlodlo.
Do you think his movements, you mentioned in your statement that he had a set routine. You mentioned in your statement that Chief Lutuli had a set routine. He would move from home, go to the shop, from the shop he would go to the fields and come back. That would be like a set routine, am I correct?
Yes, a routine.
Uyavuma ke ufakaza ukuthi ke ubephawulile ubufakazini bakhe ngendaba yeminyakazo yayo inkosi ngokujwayelekile ukuthi yayisukela ngekhathi ezokuthi libangise lapha njalo njalo ngokulandela nje umkhuba wokwenza izinto zakho zosuku mangabe esuka ekhaya aye lapha nesitolo abe nesikhathi asuka ngaso esitolo bese aya lapha emasimini.
With that set routine and every step that he would take in that set routine, do you believe that he was being watched as well?
I don't know what to say now. I would think that yes, but because from our side, he was covered all the time. Yes, and even the community, you see, who were talking about it, they were there. It's not just that they came to knock at the door, yeah, but they were there.
Uthi ufuna ukuthola ke umshushisi ukuthi ke mangabe ubuka izindlela zokwenza kwakhe izinto zosuku inkosi ngabe ke ungasho ukuthi waye umuntu owayekade eloku eqashiwe losengehlo sonke isikhathi nawo uyaphendula udokotela uthi ke nakuba ngingazi ukuthi ngiqale ngithine ekuphenduleni la kepha ngicabanga ukuthi nebala wayekade umuntu wayekade elusiwe ngehlo kepha ngakulethu uhlangothi wayekade kukhona lokukhuseleka kanjalo nangasohlangothini lomphakathi kwakade kukhona lokukhuseleka okubhekiswe kuyona inkosi akusikho ukuthi ke babefika phela bezonqonqoza esicabheni kepha nje babe abantu bomphakathi babe abantu abasuke bekhona nje.
So with
sorry. The security branches witness clarifies uyachaza udokotela ukuthi okusempeleni abantu ababeloku bekhona nje kwakuyibona laba abophiko lakwasidlodlo lobandlululo.
Thank you. So with him being constantly watched, do you believe that somebody definitely saw exactly what happened to Chief Albert Luthuli on the 21st of July 1967 at or near the Mfoti bridge? Do you believe that somebody must have seen what happened?
I think that the man who my mother said he must take the task of being with him, cover him all the time. His name was Ubab Mabaso. Yeah. He was always with him.
Okay.
And he was what?
I beg your pardon?
Bodyguard.
He was like a bodyguard.
Yeah, he was like a bodyguard. Yes. He's the one who was. He had been working for Ma in the fields which were in the vicinity there,
Yes.
Crowdfield, yes. And my mother had trust in him. Yeah, he had shown himself to be a man of good character, and she trusted him. And she's the one who then said that, well, he was working as a person also in his attack fields, and she knows him very well and trusts him. So she said that she'll give him now to look after, she'll give him to look after Uba. Yeah. She recommended him and trusted him.
Ufisa ke ukuthola umshushisi kudokotela ukuthi ngabe udokotela unayo inkolelo yokuthi ke ukhona owazibonela ngawakhe amehlo okwenzeka lapha na eblohweni ngomhla ka-21 July ngonyaka 1967. Uyaphendula ke udokotela uthi kunobaba uyamchaza uthi ubaba uMabaso lo uthi ubaba uMabaso yena wayekade eceliwe wajutshwa na umama ukuthi ke makabe yiso eqaphe impilo yakhe ubaba ngenxa ukuthi ke umama wayemethemba ubaba uMabaso le wayesebenzile ubaba uMabaso nomama lapha emasimini ngaloo ndlela kwakuyindoda ayekade eyathemba ukuthi indoda eyethembekile futhi eqotho le ngaloo ndlela waseke emnqanqa ukuthi makube wena ozophosa iso empilweni kamufi inkosi uLuthuli.
So, ma'am, are you saying that Mr. Mabaso would have been with Chief Albert Luthuli on that day on his way to the fields as his, in inverted commas, his bodyguard? Mr. Mabaso would have been with Chief Albert Luthuli on that day going to the fields?
Well, I didn't see him, but that's what was expected of him.
I see.
Yeah.
Uthi ke umshushisi ngabe udokotela uthi nokwenzeka ukuthi futhi inkosi uLuthuli ekade nobaba uMabaso laphana emasimini uyaphendula ke udokotela uthi nakuba ngingambonanga kepha ke yilokho kwakulindelekile ukuthi makube ukuthi inkosi uLuthuli inobaba uMabaso.
Did Mr. Mabaso explain to the family what happened on that day, whether he was with Chief Albert Luthuli on that day or not?
I'm not sure about that.
Ufuna ukuthola ke umshushisi ukuthi ngabe wachaza inobaba uMabaso kudaba lokuthi ngabe wenayo inkosi uLuthuli ngalesa sikhathi noma qha uyaphendula udokotela uthi angiqinisekanga kulelo phuzo.
Except what I read.
I beg your pardon?
Except what I've, I just hear saying by read.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Ngaphandle ke kwaloko engakuzwa nengakufunda.
Doctor, there is a witness who came before this court. His name is Mr. Numal. He explained to the court that he and Mr. Mabaso, sometime in the late afternoon, went to the railway line and washed away the blood of Chief Albert Luthuli. Are you aware of that?
I did hear of that, but I don't think that Mabaso was. I read somewhere that there were two people. I think Numalo was one of them.
Yes.
Yeah. But Mabaso wouldn't have been with him. They came from another angle altogether. You see.
Okay.
Yeah. From what I read in the stories that were around.
Uyaphendula ke udokotela uthi hayi izinto ayekade eyifunda nje kuyindaba ezazikade zikhona uthi ke wezwe indaba yokuthi khona abantu ababili omunye wabo kokade kuunqumala uthi ke udokotela ke akwazi ukuthi uMabaso ekade engaba engxenye yabo labo bantu uthi ke pha udokotela kuloko aphendula kukona ukususela ezintweni ayekade eyifunda kuyindaba ezazikade zisabalala ubefisa uphendula udokotela kumbuzo ukuthi kunofakazi la bathi ke kunobaba ababili ukubaba unqumalo othe yena benoMabaso bayalaphana ujantshi ujantshi wesitimela bafike bageza igazi lika lenkosi uLuthuli udokotela ubephendula kuloko.
So you don't believe that Mr. Mabaso was present in washing the blood of Chief Albert Luthuli? You don't believe that?
All I can say is I don't know really.
You don't know?
Yes,
okay, that's
yeah,
fine.
I don't know that. In fact, I just came upon it and didn't know who those people were because they were.
Uthi udokotela udaba athi mangabe ethola ngalo wangazi kepha yena ukuthi labo balisa bangobani uphendula ke udokotela kumbuzo othi ngabe yena udokotela lo akakholwa yini ukuthi ubaba uMabaso ungomunye wabantu abaya kogeza igazi lenkosi uLuthuli laphana kujantshi.
But what I do, what I got from, as I say, what I read something was that they came, two men came, I remember Ngumalo.
Yes.
And I don't even remember the name of the other one. But they were coming from a different direction altogether.
Okay.
Yes.
Uthi uyaqhubeka udokotela uthi kwengakufunda nje ngathola kwengakufunda ukuthi ke kunabalisa ababili okunqumalo nomunye kepha abantu ababekade bevela ngakolunye uhlangothi.
You testified that Lutuli was the President General of the ANC. Do you know how long he was the President General of the ANC for?
I think it was 15 or 17 years.
15 to 17 years.
It's from 1952.
Yes.
Yeah, that he was President General. Otherwise, he had been in Natal.
ufisa ke ukuthola umshushisi ukuthi ke udokotela ubethe inkosi uLuthuli wayekade engumongameli jikelele kwinhlangano kaANC uyaphendula phakathi kweminyaka eyi15 kuya kweminyaka eli17 uyaphendula ufakazi uthi ke akwazi ukuthi ke waba ngumongameli jikelele kaANC kusukela ngonyaka 1952.
And generally, what were his activities as the President General of the ANC?
Well, his activities really were to dedicate himself to growing the, I would say, growing the ANC. Yeah, he was very busy doing that. You see, even with a ban, on him. But arrangements used to be made, for him to go there, this way and that way. In other words, underground, to attend to, making the ANC understand who they are and also, grow it. Yeah. Remarks were made that, in fact, he made the ANC to grow in size very much. And even though he was banned, there were arrangements that used to be made for him to go underground and do what needed to be done.
Ufuna ke ukuthola umshushisi ukuthi ke yena njengomuntu owayekulesi isikhundla sika mongameli jikelele ngabe imisebenzi yakhe akuyiyona ayekade eyenza inkosi uLuthuli kwakuyiphi uyaphendula ke udokotela ukuthi ke imisebenzi yakhe unkosi uLuthuli yayikade ibandakanya ukuzidela kumbe ukuzinikela kwakhe ekukhuliseni umbutho le kaANC ngalondlela uyachaza ukuthi wayekade ematasa enza wona lo msebenzi ukuyandisa ayikhulise inhlangano nakuba kwakunemithetho ekade imisiwe ekade imvimba kepha wayekade eqhubeka eyenza imisebenzi kepha eyenza umshosha phansi ukuqinisekisa ukuthi ke uyafundisa achaze kona amalunga ngokuthi awaziqonde ukuthi angobani kahle kahle uyaqhubeka udokotela uthi zazikhona ke zazikhona izinkulumo ezithi vele wayewenza wona umsebenzi lo ukuqinisekisa ukuthi inhlangano le iyakhula iyadlondlobala.
And your mother Nokukhanya Lutuli, what was her role in basically supporting Chief Luthuli in his activities as the President General of the ANC? Do you know what role she played?
She was very, she was very anxious about him. Yeah, for sure. As I say, she said, Mambaso, whom she trusted must be with him. Yeah, she was very concerned that one day that anything can happen to it, being being assassinated or killed by the government of the day. You see, she was always having that in mind, and he seemed to have that feeling that, well, I've got a task to do. Yeah, and she also became somebody who does hear when even the Crowdville community was where we were one. Yeah, yes. Sort of very, very close to one another, you see. So even those people were, they were concerned because they felt he was in danger. Yeah, he was in danger.
Ufuna ke ukuthola umshushisi ukuthi ke ngabe ke iqhaza lelikade libanjwe umama wakhe udokotela ngabe lali yini uyachaza ke udokotela uthi mangabe kukhulunywa ngaye umama lo unokukhanya Luthuli le yena elakhe iqhaza ekade libambile kokuqinisekisa ukuthi uyameseka phela umongameli uyaqhubeka udokotela umchaza umama wakhe njengomuntu owayekade enakho ukwesaba nokuba nexhala enakho ukukhathazeka ingakho waze wanxenxa umabasa ukuthi makube uyena ozomqapha abe yiso kuyena umongameli uLuthuli ngalesikhathi ngenxa ukuthi wayenovalo wayephile lovalweni lokuthi ke uhulumeni wangalesa sikhathi wokade ungamsoxonga nanoma inini futhi ke yena umama wayekade eyindlebe phela ekuzweni ukuthi izini ezenzakalayo ngenxa ukuthi ke umphakathi walapha eGroundville namaphethelo komphakathi osondelene ngalondlela wayekhona ukuthi abe indlebe ezwe ukuthi kwenzekani ngenxa ukuthi wayenakho emoyeni wakhe umama ukuthi ke inkosi uLuthuli umongameli umuntu osebungozini.
So, yes,
Can I
ma'am.
just add?
Yes.
She really was very, very concerned, but she was a brave woman, very brave, And then picking up what the community, knew also about it. She relied on that as well. People were talking about the harassment, especially that space, in that space, the neighbors. And that was the central of Groundville. Yeah. And they were talking about things like that how Siamesabela Luthuli.
The witness adds at the end of her reply that we fear for Mr. Luthuli. She says so in isiZulu. Umshushisi bekade ke ebuza kuyena ufakazi ukuthi makake aphawule ncase ufakazi uyaqhubeka uyaphawula kumbe uyengeza ngesimo sakhe umama onkosikazi kamongameli uLuthuli uyamchaza ukuthi ke umuntu owayekade enokwesaba kakhulu enokwesaba kunjalo nje ke wayenako ukukhathazeka kakhulu kepha enako ukukhathazeka waye umuntu owayekade enesibindi kakhulu njengoba wayekade eyindlebeke yokuzwa ukuthi kwenzekani kukhulunywa kuthiwane laphana emphakathini wayenokubeka indlebe alalela ukuthi abantu bakhuluma bathini kakhulukazi nomakhelwane wayenako ukuzihlupha ngokulalela ukuthi omakhelwane izinto abazisho ngenxa ukuthi kwakade kukhulunywa phela ngesimo sakho beke sengeza udokotela egcineni ukuthi babe kwakukhona lokho ukuthi ke kuyasatshelwa impilo yakhe ubaba uLuthuli.
So, what I gather from what you're saying, ma'am, is that Mrs. Nokukhanya Luthuli was not or expressed her feelings or expressed her fear that one day Chief Albert Luthuli would be killed. She expressed that to him, and he was aware of her fear.
He was aware of her fear, yeah. But he also was aware of his duties. But, it's sort of like, because he was protected. I must emphasize that. In doing his duties, it was sort of all underground. And therefore, those people who arranged that you'll be there like this and that, will keep you there and so on, were people who were really trusted. That they are not dangerous to him. But he himself, he said at one time, that, he was a Christian, a very deep Christian, a very deep Christian. And he felt that it may happen one day But he has it, he is not going to stop him, doing what he was doing that was working for better life for his people.
Uyaqhubeka ke uyachaza udokotela Seek a small indulgence, my lady. I'm still taking the notes.
Okay.
Thank you. Uyaqhubeka ke uyachaza udokotela ngesimo ufisa ukuthola umshushisi kuyena udokotela ukuthi ngabe umama unokukhanya Luthuli wayenakho yena ukugodla ngaphakathi angakuphimisi lokuthi ke unalo uvalo analo na uyachaza ke udokotela oseboxini ukuthi umama wayenakho ukuphefumula ukuthi ke kona unako ukumesabela nakuba kunjalo uba inkosi uLuthuli ikepha iyayikwazi futhi iqonda ukuthi imiphi imisebenzi ekubiza ukuthi iyifeze futhi ke leyo msebenzi nezinhlelo zazikade zenziwa kepha zazenziwa umshosha phansi nanokuthi abantu ababekade bebhekelele ukwenza inhlelo zokuthi kubonwane nanokuthi uzothathwa kuphi njalo njalo kwakabantu ababekade bethenjiwe labo futhi labo bantu kwangabantu ababengena bungozi kuyena umongameli uLuthuli uyaqhubeka udokotela uyengeza ukuthi futhi ke inkosi uLuthuli iwumuntu owayekade ewumKristu ozinikele kakhulu futhi ke wayenawe na inkosi uLuthuli yayinakho emoyeni ukuthi into engenzeka noma inini kepha nakuba kunjalo lokho kwakade kungamnqandi kungamgwemi inkosi uLuthuli kuthini aqhubeke neminyakazo yokuguqula nokwenza ngcono impilo zabantu bakhe.
Doctor, can I ask you this question for the sake of clarity so that one is able to get an understanding? You mentioned that you had read somewhere that 2 men went to go wash the blood of Chief Albert Luthuli, one of them being uNumalo. But your understanding is that they came from different directions. Can I just understand what do you mean by that?
I really don't know those
Okay.
people. Yeah.
You don't know both of them?
Yes, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. I heard that one was Numalo.
Okay.
I don't even remember now, in the talk that I had.
Okay.
Who the other one was, yeah.
Okay. You know Numalo, but you don't know who the other one was.
I heard of them talk of Numalo's name.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't know him.
Okay.
Yeah,
I hear you.
I don't know him.
Okay.
Uyayicacisa ke udokotela indaba yabo labalisa ekwazokala kuthiwa baya lapha ukuyogeza igazi lenkosi uLuthuli kuthiwa ke omunye wabo kakade kunqumalo uqhubekile udokotela wachaza ethi babekade bevela ngakolunye kuhlangothi useyicacisa le ndaba udokotela ukuthi yini le yaqonda ukuyisho ngalo ndlela uthi ke udokotela mangabecacisa uthi ngabantu angabazi labo uthi abantu ekwayilonqumalo umuntu ayezwa ngayo akusiko ukuthi umuntu amaziyo lonqumalo uthi ngalo ndlela yiloko akuchaza mangabethi hayi abantu babeqhama kolunye uhlangothi.
Culturally speaking, Doctor, just out of culture, is there a significance pertaining to the washing of a deceased person's blood? Is there any cultural significance with respect to that?
I don't know any culture about that.
You don't know any?
Yeah. In fact, I don't know any. But the thing is, I don't even know whether they did do it or not. Because as I say, when we went there was blood. Yeah, with Tulane. We saw the blood. And I think, I'm not sure who else, but it was there. You see, and this whole story of those people, I just don't know anything really to put it in any context. Yeah, because even us as a I think as family, we didn't know.
I beg your pardon?
It's unusual that people would just come and remove blood for somebody who is in that situation without a member, for instance, of the family who has seen it and and all that. So it's a story which is puzzling to me. Yeah, I don't know.
Thank you.
Uyachaza futhi ke udokotela ukuthi ke embuzweni ukuthi kukhona yena okuphathelene nesiko okumayelana nokususwa kumbe ukuhlanzwa kwegazi kukhona okusemqoka okuthinta isiko kumayelana nokususwa kwegazi emntwini osuke eshonile na uyaphendula udokotela cha akho lutho yena alazi oluthinta usiko oluthi makwenziwe njalo kepha uthi udokotela mabefika and kwindawo yesigameko benothulane bafike balibona igazi uthi igazi udokotela lalikhona nangabe befika ukuthi cha nalabo bantu futhi ababili ekukhulunywa ngabo ukuthi udokotela abantu angabazi uyengeza udokotela uthi kepha kuyisimo kumbe kuyisenzo esingajwayelekile ukuthi kususwe igazi esimweni esifuze lesiyana engekho nokuba khona umuntu ongomndeni kamuva.
Doctor, did you ever get a chance to see the post-mortem report of Chief Albert Luthuli?
Post-mortem?
Yes, the post-mortem report. Did you ever get a chance to see it?
I went to the office of the district person responsible for it and asked for a post-mortem report. Yeah, there was nothing. There was nothing. Where there's supposed to be a description, there was just nothing.
Are you saying on the report there was nothing?
On the report, which with the district,
Would it be the district surgeon?
Yeah, the person in charge of that.
Okay.
Yeah, your Philembe
Gave you the
district.
report, and on it there was nothing.
There was nothing. There was a line just where there should be a report. Yeah. And now that puzzled me, but it was that is what was there. So there was nothing to say what he thought, yeah, or what happened. It was his duty to write the report there, but being echo, yeah. And I even got some copies of that report and distributed it to the members of the family. Yeah.
ufuna ukuthola ke umshushisi kuyena udokotela ukuthi ke ngabe wawubona yini umbiko kuyena ukuwona ochazayo ngembangela yokushona kwenkosi uLuthuli uyachaza ke udokotela uthi waya kuloyo ophethe laphana la kuhlolwa khona imizimba kuyena ophethe laphana eyocela uwona lo mbiko uyachaza udokotela ucha lo mbiko wawuze kwangekho lutho lapha nakona kule ngxenye ekuyiyona eyaye inike incazelo uthi udokotela kwakungekho lutho lapha loyincazelo kwakade kukhona nje okuwumuqa nje la kufuze umbiko unikeze khona incazelo uyachaza udokotela ucha kwakuyisimo lesiyana esididayo uthi samdida nebala uthi phela kwakuwumsebenzi wakhe loyana ukuthi ke awubhale umbiko uthi ke phala phana kulo mbiko wawuze wawungenalutho uthi ke waze wacela namakhasi phela awo lwambiko ukwenzela ukuthi ahlinzeke avezele nabomndeni.
So as a qualified medical practitioner, what were you expecting to find on that report? Or what were you expecting to see?
Well, I expected to see the report on what exactly happened, because no member of the family or anybody there, you see, a report like that at least does say, which this is what the postmortem or whatever has shown. You see, so there was nothing really.
Ufuna ke ukuthola umshushisi ukuthi ke ufakazi lo osebhoxini ngabe yena njengomuntu oqeqeshelwa ufundela umsebenzi wokudokotela yini ayilindele ukuthi uzoyifica laphana kuona lo mbiko wokuhlolwa kwesidumbu la usithi ufakazi umbiko onjengaloyana uyaye unike incazelo phela ucacise ngokuthi kwenzakaleni umbiko onjengaloyana uyawudalule uveze kumbe ucacise kangcono ngokuthi yini etholakele kumbe eboniwe.
The clothing of the deceased. Did the family ever get the clothing that the deceased was wearing on that day, 21 July 1967, when he passed on?
Yes.
Okay.
There was, there were his clothes, but they did not have, too much blood. Yeah. And in fact, what happened is this, that my mother was in charge of that. And she took the clothes and very sort of surprised that it's not very, too much blood. Yeah. And she took the clothes and put them in the wardrobe. Now, normally, people wash them and bury them or something like that. But she took them and kept them in the wardrobe for some months. And one day we asked her and said, "Ma, what about those clothes? What happens? What gets done to them?" And she said that, well, they are your father's clothes. They're just there for a while. And we then, as children, interpreted that as that, oh, well, maybe she's saying she's getting some comfort, in there. And she can cope by simply, saying, well, it was this or not. We talked about it as children, though we didn't know any more than that. And then after that, she also didn't wash them. There was nothing. So when it was after about 3 months or so, she then washed them and gave them to somebody. I can't say I remember the person she gave them to. Omniges, and she just as a...
After washing them?
Yeah, after washing them. But she kept them as they were, as I say. And I want to emphasize that I think that she was just, sort of giving some way she can cope with this and so on.
Okay.
I don't know. But we felt that, oh no, she knows what she's doing. Yeah.
Okay.
ufisa ke ukuthola umshushisi ukuthi ke mayelana neimpahla zokugqoka ngabe ke impahla lezokugqoka zenkosi uLuthuli ngabe bazithola yini nabe umndeni uyaphendula udokotela uthi yebo sazithola kepha ke zazingenalo igazi elitheni kumbe igazi elingako umama ke okuyena wayekade ebhekelele izinto ezifana nalezo kepha ke okwakuyisimanga yikho lokho ukuthi ke igazi lalikuzo likhakade kuyigazi nje elincane emva kwalokho owabeke umama esezithatha ezifaka laphana ku-wardrobe zahlala nje izinyanga ezimbalwa zoku-wardrobe abanye abantu ke kuye kwenzeke uthola ukuthi banazo impahla zokugqoka baye kozigubhela bazifake emgodini kepha umama wazigcina nje laphana ku-wardrobe sasimbuza ke singabantwana umama ukuthi mama kuzokwenzekani ngazi ingobo lezi zokugqoka wephendule ke umama athi hayi zingakababuwena izingobo lezi zizohlala nje kanje ngalondlela ngiyacabangela ekuthini kwakuyiyona endlela yokuthobeka kwakhe emoyeni ukuthi azigcine zibe khona nje lapha ekhaya kepha kwathi sekudlule ecishe izinyanga eyintathu kanje wabeke esezihlamba lezi impahla umama mangabe eseziwashile lezi impahla kwabe sekuba khona umuntu engasamkhumbula kunguye owabe semnikeza zona leza impahla kepha ke ngibuswa ikona ukuthi ngokwenza kwakhe kanjalo umama wayazi yena wayeqonda ukuthi wenzani.
Were those clothes torn? Were they torn?
She was finding getting comfort, the witness adds in isiZulu.
Oh, sorry.
Toba.
She was comforting herself.
Perhaps that's what we thought, ma. That she thinks that, well, you know, he's there. Or that's what we thought as children.
I understand.
And discussed amongst ourselves. Yes.
I understand.
Uyachaza udokotela ukuthi cha into esasimane siyixoxa nje thina njengabantwana ukuthi hleze iyona ndlela eyokuzithoba yokumduduza ukuthi enze kanje ngempahla zokugqoka.
And the condition of the clothing, ma'am? Were they torn?
No.
Ufuna ukuthola umshushisi ngesimo sazi ingobo zokugqoka lezo ukuthi ngabe ezazikhazukile yini na uyaphendula udokotela uthi cha.
Thank you. My lady, I see that it is 3 o'clock. I, on my side, only have a few questions to ask this witness, but I do know that my colleagues have got other questions.
Yes, we can
adjournment.
adjourn if the witness is available tomorrow. I've got another matter. Coincidentally, it's also a Lutuli matter, a civil matter.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm hearing argument. It's a part-head trial, but
Okay.
I'm hearing argument. My registrar has gone to arrange with counsel, 2 senior counsel, to come tomorrow morning at 9:30,
Okay.
in the hope that by 11:30 we will be done. So if it doesn't inconvenience the witness, doctor, we can resume this matter at 11:30 or as soon as I'm done with the matter that I intend starting with tomorrow morning. Mr. Dunya, what do you say to that?
Yes, as President, my lady, that would be in order with the state that the matter be resumed at 11:30 or so soon thereafter as the court is done with the matter that it is seized with.
Yes, much appreciated, Mr. Dunya. And also, on Friday, I have full bench, full court appeals, and where there are 3 matters. So no,
That is well, my lady.
there's only one full court appeal on Friday plus admissions.
Yes.
So I wonder if you intend on sitting on Friday, because as you know, appeals and admissions also start at 10. But we can discuss that towards the end of the week. after maybe you finish this witness, I would appreciate that
Yes.
you accommodate the fact that we have full court appeals on Friday plus admissions.
My lady, we have had the projection, if your ladyship would recall, in terms of the court's commitments, also on Fridays.
Yes.
And my lady, as the prosecution, we understood the situation, and we were of the view that if Fridays could be set aside for the other commitments of the court,
Yes,
and
yes.
hours run from Monday to Thursday.
Yes, it's much appreciated. It's only that this is a special witness whom we had to wait for. So if we can't finish by Thursday, we'll have to make arrangements.
That's complete, my lady. We anticipate that we will be finished with the witness by tomorrow. We have had a projection in terms of our court preparations. Then by tomorrow, we anticipate that we will be done with the witness. And if an unforeseen circumstance does arise, then on Thursday definitely we'll.
Thank you very much. Dr. Albertina Nomatuli Lutuli, we are adjourning now till tomorrow. Please make sure that you rest sufficiently. And the prosecution has indicated that they may be done with your evidence tomorrow. So do come here, but don't rush yourself. This court will be busy until about 11:30 with other matters. Yeah, I expect to see you at 11:30 or soon thereafter. Thank you. We adjourn to the 28th of May 2025.
Siyagoqa ke sokubuya kusasa ekuseni ngo 11 ngomhla ka 28.